representing? Boss, are
100%.
you representing?
I am, but I would say I've got the new stuff, but I've actually got a box of new stuff with Gary's stuff in it, who Gary's meant to get back to Shannon to let Shannon know what size is what he ordered so we can get it to Gary. Speaking of which, my mum and sister are coming over. Probably should have said this in the team meeting rather than the podcast. My mum and sister are coming over in 2 weeks for Finn's birthday. I can give them your stuff for them to take back with them to get it to you if you want, or I can post it. Probably quicker posting it, to be honest, but I'm just skimpy on the old
Yeah.
postage.
To be fair, I'd rather come
Cost
and collect
living.
it myself, to be honest.
Well, yeah, you can do that as well, mate. That is all our options are available.
I'm gutted about the yellow one. The yellow one, there was only, a handful of them made?
Two. You and Nicky were the only two that have them.
You're joking.
Yeah, I really wanted a yellow one and none to be found. There was only
I
two in the makings.
I put it in the tumble dryer and the back sticker melted together.
Oh, everybody. I'm raging because I only got two. I was in the process of between like manufacturers, and I ordered I was doing it myself. I ordered just some hoodies and went and took them to the printing shop. I was like, going to do something different, and I got them to do the way it was done. And I'm like, they're class, but then there was only two made. But everybody raves about that yellow hoodie.
The yellow hoodie's banging. Get one made, 100%.
It's all brand colours. I feel like I'm going to have to just go for in Still Game when the Vid went back to 1976 prices. I feel like I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to going back to BioFitness 2021. I am just for like a week just to get all of the hoodies made.
Anyway,
For
hello and
limited
welcome.
edition, like if you got them made, we could do like a competition because everyone would be really competitive trying to get them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That actually is a good idea. Hello and welcome to the BioFitness podcast. Before I forget,
Is it not the GMAC one?
Well,
Or is it the
last
Shannon
week,
Biofitness podcast? Or is it Kyle's turn?
last week it was the GMAC podcast, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. Well, the less said about that, the better. We'll just move on.
And that'll be why it's got the least amount of listens out of any episode so far.
Man, I swear, see this Zoom. So I got a new laptop and I've got a new Zoom. I don't know why the new Zoom came with a new laptop, but I updated at the same time. It's given me the fear because they've changed all the buttons on Zoom, but see the record, it's not like when you recorded on the last Zoom, when you press record it had pause or stop, whereas right now it just says record, and I'm like, I'm a record, but definitely I'm recording that way.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I
it
think
does
so.
flash.
Oh, he's muted himself now. It's definitely recording. I've got the wee computer recorders on. We're all good, mate.
I love how you spoke louder because I muted myself. That was class.
Just making sure that everybody could hear me.
Old man
right,
with
what are we talking about?
technology.
Well, what we are going to talk about is she's back.
Shannon?
No, well, she is back, but
I was on last week, so I was like, did I not contribute that much or did I take the fifth? I can't really remember. Everything's a blur.
did we see? Oh, who was it that sent it in? The red flags of your PT not being safe. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Did we all see that?
Yes, we did,
Yeah.
and it really bothered me.
A PT not being safe? Wow, Jesus, I've not heard of those type of allegations since there's a boy down in Cork who got arrested for sexual assault. But a PT not being safe?
The actual words that she used were red flags that a PT isn't safe to refer to. Whatever that fucking means.
Context. She has started, for anyone that doesn't know who we're on about, I suppose we just name your one Rhiannon. I think we discussed her a few podcasts ago. She was on some YouTube channel, like, should PTs be overweight? I can't remember. She now has latched on to the end of that YouTube video and is making buck from Instagram or whatever, selling these new programs that she has where she can refer you to a safe PT that will be inclusive for all body types and neurodivergence. So she's made a program where it's basically like, these are the safest PTs in your area, and this is what red flags look like.
It bothers me greatly. It bothers me greatly because of I think, like anything, social media is a fucking cesspit for a lot of things, but I do see a point to a few things, because I actually said that you guys, a few of the beliefs she's had, I've had in my life as well, and I think if you dress it up differently, it actually sounds okay, but the way she's phrased it and not being safe, for someone who apparently you shouldn't be judging other people, seems to be doing just that with that post and judging other people. Do you want to go through? Do you want to go through the actual red flags that she said and like individually dissect them, or do you want to go about this a
Yeah.
different way? We've not
No,
really.
let's do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's individually because there is a few to go through. As you said, Kel, some of them I do agree with, some of them I disagree with, and it would be good to just kind of dissect each red flag that she's posted.
Quick question, actually. You're on your phone there, Gary, are you?
Yep.
You just actually file that back in the group chat. My WhatsApp has rebooted to a save from the 24th of March and I have no messages from there. There we go. So sorted. Right. So we'll go with number one here. So she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red flags. Okay. So this is the exact wording. Red flags that a PT isn't safe to refer to. Number one, posts before/after transformation photos. Let's
Yeah.
discuss.
As PTs posting before and after transformation photos is the exact same as shops that have their brand new clothing in the window. It is essentially our shopping window. Now, don't get me wrong, some PTs that post before and after transformation photos are unquestionably not great at what they do. But to say that they are not safe to refer to because they are just showing you the proof of what they can do is fucking bizarre to me.
It's a very hot take for me. I was first to actually say, like, as a in-person PT, I actually used to say that to people. I was like, I don't need you to take before and after pictures. And actually, to be fair, I still say that I don't need you to. It's just that it is very helpful a lot of the time. But when I was an in-person PT, I was because a lot of people who come to you have been scarred by that type of thing. Where, like, if a PT's forcing you to do something, I probably wouldn't say it's the best way of doing it. But like, they are just measurements, and realistically, what I would say, if somebody can demonstrate a visible change from a before picture to an after picture, they have shown that there is a transition and they are doing proof of concept. So for me, it's like a hotel putting out reviews and another hotel going, it's a red flag for a hotel to have reviews. But why? Why? Like, for me, I have never put up a before and after picture that I haven't got consent for. And I say to
Yeah.
people, and you can ask, currently we have whatever, like, let's say I deal with 50 to 60 one-to-one PT clients at the moment. You can ask any one of them in their startup video. I record every one of them individually and I say, ideally, want you to take some progress pictures. If you don't have anyone to take them for you, you can put your phone front-facing camera, screenshot front, back, and side. Just to let you know, your progress pictures don't go anywhere. It's just me that sees them. It just allows me to do my job a little bit better. Ultimately, the point of progress pictures are the fact, like, I don't know if you've seen my post on toilet roll, but if you pull a piece of toilet roll off every single day, if you keep on looking at it, you're not going to notice a massive difference. However, after 4, 6, 8, 10 weeks, that's where you see those bigger differences. That is all it is. It's pretty much so that you're not chasing, if you're looking at weight loss, the number 0 on a scale, but also to actually see where your body composition is at any given point. That's all it is.
Yeah. I think a good example, and me and you can relate to this one as well, Kyle, is when you have a baby, you see that baby every single day. You do not see the changes that happens day by day by day. It's somebody that's not seen you or the baby in 3 months ago. Holy fuck, they have changed so much. But because we are seeing them every single day, we don't see that until we start looking at photos from 3 months ago. And it's the same way. It's the same with fat loss. It's the same when you're trying to change your physique in your body. Because you're seeing yourself every day, you don't notice the changes, but everybody else starts to notice those changes first. And that's where progress photos are very important, but it is just another metric. Don't rely or don't base your whole progress on just the photos because it is just one metric that can be tracked. And physical changes, photographs, they don't tell lies. Whereas, we've discussed it many times before, scale weight, etc., can so many variables that can affect the scale weight. Whereas photos, it's hard for them to tell lies unless you're actually photoshopping.
I
And
mean,
that's a bit of effort.
Yeah.
Well, there was a boy, actually a big influencer boy, who got caught photoshopping using ChatGPT to essentially make progress photos that don't of people that don't exist. There's actually full accounts that are with that right now. Go on, Shannon.
Was it you?
What do you mean? Was it me?
The
Gary,
boy,
did you ever see the photo? So Kyle has a before and after photo for his wee dad bod transformation. And I said he looked really grumpy in the photos because Kyle always looks a little grumpy, don't you? And then he got ChatGPT to make a smile on him and he looks terrifying. You look like a serial killer.
This is why I'm confused, Shannon. That genuinely wasn't ChatGPT. That was just a different photo of me actually smiling. I didn't.
You told me it was ChatGPT.
Shannon, go back and read the messages. There's nothing that I've said about ChatGPT. I
Oh, I'm
these
scared
fucking
now.
so
Shannon, you need meds rapid.
I was
I'm
going to
on
say
meds.
that they need to be stronger. This is why I was so confused. I'm like, I've said that there's somebody actually using an account of before and afters for chat for AI, and then you went, "Is it you?" And I'm like, "Well, that's an accusation and a half." And then straight after that, going, "You've got before and after pictures, and one of them's of you using." I'm like, I've never used ChatGPT
I
to
thought
pick
you
one.
did that just for the crack in the group chat to me.
I wasn't even in the group chat,
That you
Shannon. That was a
used AI
message
to
to
make
you.
you smile.
No, but what was I
I
going to say?
take back my accusation. I'm sorry. I genuinely thought that was what you did. And I was like, oh my God, you look terrified. You look like you're going to kill me.
No, that was just genuinely me smiling. But thanks for. I'll try not to take that as an insult too much. But that's why I don't smile. There's nothing worse than putting a fake smile on when you're literally sitting in your bathroom with your top off and it's fucking freezing. And I'm like, right, I've literally taken a video and I want to get this over with as soon as I can. So I'm just standing there. For what it's worth, though, the amount of progress pictures I do get on, like, it's usually Sunday mornings where it's like somebody's forced their, like, wife, girlfriend, husband to take pictures of them, and you can tell that both of them can't be asked, and it's like, you can see some of them are mid-conversation, like, oh, hurry up, or so yeah, no, to be fair, though, the only thing, and I would actually argue, is that, like, just because you have before and after pictures doesn't mean you're a great PT, but it does lend itself to the fact that you can have proof of concept. There are plenty of great coaches who don't, but at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily something that makes you a red flag. If anything, coaching isn't cheap if you're getting good coaches, and usually, especially in an online capacity, there's a lot of people who want to sign up who are looking to sign up who've never met you before. They need to prove, like, if somebody's looking to get in shape for the holiday, like, they need to have proof that you are the person to do it. And if you don't have proof, then, like, realistically, like, when it comes to exchanging of money, like, it's going to be a tough one to do. So from both sides of things, it gives the client proof, and it also, we had Sean McCardo on the podcast. He was one of the ones who's like, I had done 2 checks. I wanted to make sure, firstly, you got results, but then secondly, you were in shape. And I was like, cool. Well, you just need to scroll down like twice maybe on the feed, and you can see that. And I think, yeah, I wouldn't say that's a red flag. And I don't even understand. The only time I would personally say it's a red flag if somebody's forcing you to take before and after pictures, and or when your progress fit photos are taken, they post them without your consent. That would be for me a major red flag. And Shannon would also back up on this one. Some of the best results that we have got, we can't actually post them because the person has not wanted their face, them, whatever. They just don't want to
On
be posted
social media.
on social media. And whilst
And that's fair enough.
part of it is heartbreaking, I'm also like, do you know what? I've done a great job for that person, and realistically, they're a walking, talking advertisement for me in real life. So, yeah, I wouldn't stress too much about that. Number two, are we happy
I was
enough?
going to go on with the progress photos. It's almost like, do you know, some people don't post pictures of their kids.
Yeah.
It's either your choice or it's not, like, but yes,
My pet hate is see when people post pictures of their kids, but they put like an emoji over
an
the
emoji.
head. I'm like, just don't post a picture of your child. Just
Yeah,
don't.
like AI is so advanced now that like they're actually saying, see the way some people are like, I don't want to post pictures of my children online. I don't want creeps getting photos of my kids. Very understandable. You don't want creeps getting photos of your kids. but they can actually remove the emoji and just like edit it to be whatever they want it to be. So if anything, they've actually said it makes it worse doing it that way. Just top tip from a girl that has no children.
Yeah, I'm sure giving advice to parents of children comes across really well when you don't have any yourself. But yeah, tremendous.
Well, I listen to stuff, so I'm just going to share my knowledge that I know.
Like a plus size PT try to get somebody stage ready for a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
She won't because that's a red flag.
Well, true.
So number two, we happy enough moving on to number two?
Yeah,
Yes.
Centres weight loss in their marketing. Discuss.
If you're a weight loss coach, if you're a fat loss coach, then that is your marketing. What the fuck is a
That's my
red
bread and
flag
butter.
about that? Yeah, you're a fat loss coach, so you're going to speak about fat loss. You're going to center that in your marketing because it's what you do. It's the area of coaching that you are an expert in, that you're good at. It's your fucking job. Like if I'm a fat loss coach, I'm not then going to go and start promoting other things just to get people in the door. I'm going to speak about what I know a lot about and market my business that way. But that doesn't mean it's a red flag. Like I think the people that don't want to hear about weight loss or fat loss in the marketing is people that are fucking scared of it, or people that don't want to do the work to get the results that they want. They want somebody to justify their laziness. They want somebody to justify their poor choices and their bad choices, make them feel better about themselves, which is fair enough. Then we'd obviously know the coaches for you. But if your main goal is fat loss, then you probably want to be looking for a fat loss coach, somebody that speaks about fat loss, somebody that understands it, somebody that's been there and done it, and somebody that knows the ins and outs and all the intricacies of trying to lose body fat. Like, why does that make it a red flag? I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense. Like, as I said, weight loss is probably my bread and butter. It's the thing that I do best. Yes, I dabble into performance a little bit, but if someone came to me and was like, I want to run a marathon in an X amount of time, but I'm not the coach for you. I've never done that in my life. But I have fellow coaches that have done half marathons and marathons I can refer you on to. Like, I think if you're looking for a particular thing, you go to that exact coach. Just like when I first started, I went to Kyle because one, I wanted to lose weight. That was my main goal. But also we powerlifted at the time. And I was like, hey, that's something I actually quite enjoy doing. Maybe he can teach me that. That is why I went to him over anyone else. Those were the two things. I think if you're saying it's a red flag, you are the problem in this situation because what doesn't count is I'd love to see her list for green flags. Is it just being neurodiverse and overweight? Are they the only green flags that we can have?
I think actually I'm going to talk about
I
that.
said what I said.
Yeah, no, you're right. I was actually, it's funny you said about green flags because I was interested after reading the first 2 points. I'm like, I wonder what she actually does have as a green flag because she's seemed to be just wanting to throw shade on everything. But again, dissecting the point, I think like centres weight loss in their marketing. Okay, if we don't centre weight loss in the marketing, like weight loss is a major issue right now because people are getting bigger, food is getting harder to track, people are moving less, like people weigh more than they did, health issues are higher. Like these are all, if we're talking feelings versus facts, these are all facts. There's science behind every single one of them. People, despite the body positivity movement, people are more uncomfortable in their skin than always, and there's more misleading information. I think in those times, you need to be sometimes a beacon of light on that. I can understand why people do get fatigued in terms of the amount of information that's out there. I understand that there are bad fat loss coaches out there, and I understand how sometimes dieting culture isn't great. But in terms of saying that you can't have that, that's for me is like, Ozempic is like you can't say it's fat loss, weight loss. Like it is. That's what it is. What is it meant to dress itself up as? Like this is we need to be as a service. If we don't say fat loss, weight loss, then Ozempic wins because that can, and there's then nothing else that that offers you the same thing. I think for me, we want people to know there is other ways than having to go and take what that is. And actually, current studies show for MD again, Zempic, whatever, mortality rates 12% so far. So it's an increase in mortality rates. So whilst they are seeing obesity for the first time has taken a bit of a tail off, mortality rates have risen 12% in the early studies. So yes, whilst the weight might be coming down, deaths are actually slightly higher. So that's just early research. So yeah, take that in your pipe.
Go on, science guy.
I mean, there's a few reasons why that could be happening, but we'll leave that for another day because we're talking about Rhiannon here. Shannon, have you got anything else on that? Shall we move on?
We can move on. I actually did see something as well the other day on Instagram, and I was like, wow, that's a bit powerful. That we live in such a like sedated world where we sit most of the time that 15 minutes of walking counts as exercise now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's what we're up against. Like 15 minutes for the full day. That's me exercise done for the day.
Shannon, like I lose count of the amount of people who were like, if you gave them a meal structure and let's say it was chicken, potatoes, and like some form of sauce, they're like, oh, I don't want to be eating this restrictive stuff. I'm like, fucking 20 years ago, you just called that lunch or dinner, but now all of a sudden it's restrictive. Like food can be.
So if you put bread on the chicken and you cut the potatoes into singular kind of movements, fry it, they'll eat it then. It's goujons and chips, boy.
I don't know. There's like there is reasons that people are. I don't think the type of reels that you see that it's like you can eat anything you want and trying to recreate fucking food but low calories is very helpful either. Like it's just realistically we're being conditioned to think that real foods are restrictive a lot of the time, and that is part of the problem. You actually heard that in the debate with whatever her name was, Gillian Michaels, about like, oh, what do I even choose? Like a burger tastes better. Of course a fucking burger tastes better than like most things, but a burger's also going to have like 12 to 1500 calories in it. Like there's, yeah, anyway.
The next one. He's ready.
Go the next one.
Use no excuses or beast mode language.
Yeah. I don't think it's a red flag, but I don't like that kind of chat, if I'm being honest. Beast mode, it's fucking cringe, innit? Pure icky. No excuses. I mean, for somebody that uses a lot of excuses, then the term no excuses might be valid, but yeah, it's just no language that I do enjoy using myself. I don't know about yous.
I don't know. I've never met MD who said beast mode. It's not a gimp anyway. It's like
true. Oh, fucking so high up.
I just think of the early 2000s. I'm like that. I don't think I've heard that term in my adult life. Maybe as a teenager I've heard beast mode, but that came from Geordie Shore or something. I haven't heard it since.
Shannon, it came from T-Nation, Testosterone Nation. It was a website that you used to go on that used to give you all of your, like, it was a level above Men's Health for people who were like gym bros and the internet didn't have as much widely available information. That was the place people went, but they had t-shirts that said beast mode on them, and probably no excuses. I think it all stems from that, but at the same time, like, it was gym bros who were like in the early phases of like experimenting with fucking protein, creatine, and like the occasional bit of trend. Like, I don't think it's a commonly used thing. I would actually add to that, and I can't believe I'm adding to Rhiannon's list or whatever her name was. Locked in does my head in. Anybody who uses that word just fucking die in a fire.
Locked in.
Yeah, no, they're high roxers or whatever. But I say that as I'm like I've done a few high roxers. But with that,
you're going to do a trika.
I'll get ChatGPT to put a smile on my face when I'm doing it, Shannon.
I must have dreamt that, like, you told me that it was ChatGPT, because I was telling even Adam about that. I was like, look, he put a ChatGPT to make him smile.
Do you know what's funny? Because I have, and I'll put my hands up and admit, I tried to use ChatGPT to alter a progress picture once. I'll tell you my reasons behind it. So AJ's 60 kilo transformation, in his first picture, he's actually too big to get in the picture proportionately. And when I did it, all I did was ask ChatGPT to try and fix proportions that would fit in, because I'm not great with ratios when it comes to Canva. But the thing is, because the picture cut off at where his kneecaps are, what it did is add more length to his legs. And I was like, they're AJ with legs that I've never seen AJ with before. I showed it to Jen first, and I was like, what do you think of that? And she went, actually looks really good. And I was like, part of me feels like posting it with whatever. I think I did actually post it. I think you can find a picture on my Instagram somewhere with AJ with legs that don't actually exist. But that's the only thing that was altered, just so it fitted the camera. But that's the only time I've ever used ChatGPT to fix whatever. I sent it to AJ himself first, going, are you alright with me posting you with legs? But it's hardly like I went, here, give him shredded 6-pack abs on top of his already 6-pack abs. So,
You know what's funny now that I'm taking back? You questioned why I didn't post the one with you smiling. I was like, why the fuck would I post that one? Sure, you use ChatGPT in my head.
yeah, no, I'm not going to lie, Simon, because firstly, you just posted it without actually clearing it with me in the first place, didn't ask clients' permission. Secondly, I was going to say, I sent you the picture of me smiling. I was like, it was a better picture of me smiling, and she's not posted that. So I'm like, she's clearly chosen one of me being growly to try and set me up. But no worries, Shannon. But I suppose in
No, I thought that
Shannon's
was
world,
AI.
sound. Yeah, no worries. An actual picture of me smiling never makes the internet, but that's fine. We'll stick with the narrative.
Oh, don't worry, I'll repost you, Pat, with a smile.
That's okay. Yeah, repost every 3 days until such times as it loses interest. But what was I going to say? I think if we're looking from the perspective of Rhiannon, her saying no excuses or beast mode, it probably isn't helpful because, not going to lie, if you're whatever weight she is, 140 kilos or whatever, she didn't get to 140 kilos by a recent accident. That took a period of time of her under moving and overeating. There probably has been a fair amount of excuses. I don't think it's very helpful to tell someone like that no excuses, because ultimately they probably already feel a lot of shame. And if a PT just turns around to them and says, you need to do this, no excuses, or beast mode, you're not really helping things. What you need to do, in my opinion, is take the shame away from it. This has been proven as well. If you take the shame away from somebody who struggles with a body image, then they're more likely to actually do the thing. So I don't think it's very helpful with that. However, you will experience usually somebody at that weight, in that size, and at that mental capacity, that there is a lot of excuses. The way that you frame and deal with that is often actually trying to change the structure around and make it more frictionless for them, and give them like potentially a couple of non-negotiables that are like within a different range. So instead of going 10,000 steps, and that is no excuses, it could be a case of, can we look at a range of a minimum of 6,000 steps to 10,000 steps and see how we get on with that, and let me know what problems come up. Like, that's the way I would probably frame it with something like that.
I think it's very clear that we actually do agree with her a wee bit on that one.
To be honest, if she hadn't put red flags beside them and she just kind of actually gave us a bit more, like, Liz,
Context to what she meant.
let's also be fair though, she knows what she's doing here. Like, Rhiannon is playing a character now at this point. It's the same as what I touched on with the girl after the Gillian Michaels thing, who were like, my identity has now become, I've surrounded myself with people who are overweight and don't think there's a way out, and I now need to be a voice for that people. That overrides her self-worth isn't based on her body anymore, it's based on what she can do in terms of representing these people. But these people, their ideas and views are often skewed, and they actually do need a bit of help on that. So I don't actually think there's a lot of things that she's put in there that are completely fucking like wild takes with context, but without context. And she is rage baiting us right now, which we are kind of jumping into.
Raging into.
But yeah, makes a good podcast. But Gary, you want to go with the next one?
It only shows lean, able-bodied people. Which kind of bothers me a wee bit. Lean, able-bodied people.
Able body bothers me.
How can you show MD if you're not allowed to post before and after pictures? You can't show fat people before them being lean if you're not allowed to put before and after. So what do you do?
Yeah. But lean, able-bodied people, I'm trying to understand what the fuck she means by that.
I don't don't know. I might need to put out a case study for looking for 5 people with 3 limbs to be able to start squatting. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. It's confusing. But
According
yeah,
to Google, an able-bodied person is typically defined as an individual who is physically fit, strong, healthy, and does not have a physical, mental impairment that limits their movement, senses, or daily activities.
so essentially, anytime you post Shannon, Kyle, you're a green flag.
Red. I'm a red
No,
flag now.
No,
you are not able-bodied.
I got it. The fact that Shannon's not got it probably speaks to
It
what we're
speaks
talking about
volumes,
here.
doesn't
I'm so
it?
confused.
It's all good, Shannon. We'll tell you after the podcast.
Oh no.
um, yeah, I think what it does show though is I think this opens up a debate as to PTs that only show lean, able-bodied people. So if there's, I think she's almost doing herself out a point here. If there's lean, able-bodied people going to PTs, then that surely also proves the point that not everybody just goes to PTs for weight loss, fat loss, and there are other things that they do. So for me, you can't have it both ways on that, or certainly it is a kind of a counterpoint to her point in the first place, because you can't have it both ways where you're like, oh, you show tons of before and afters, but then you only show lean, able-bodied people, but you shouldn't show weight loss, but you're only showing lean people. I'm like, well, where does that make sense? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Could be wrong on this, but it definitely doesn't make sense to me.
I think she's obviously playing into the hands of the character that she is that she's becoming in the niche that she's trying to market towards and market for. She's trying to be all inclusive, which is amazing. And but by doing that, she's actually speaking out against lean, able-bodied people at the same time. So she's kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Contradicting.
Contradicting. Yeah, she's kind of contradicting herself a wee bit. Um, I don't know. It's a confusing one. I don't know why that would signify that they are unsafe to refer to.
I think the only, again, I'm playing devil's advocate here. The only thing that I can think of is, and I've been guilty of this with my own business, and when I got, let's say, when I first started and I started to get some people in really good shape, I was like, oh, I'm going to post my best before and after pictures because that will actually get me more people in the door and will continue to grow. If anything, actually, what I found is a lot of people were looking at that going, it almost becomes unattainable because they're looking at all these people going, I can't see myself in that, particularly when you just post an after picture. Like Gary, when you're shredded eating a donut, and so like Shannon, even like yourself, and you're like there for women and guys, you're both looking and going, nah, those two are like, they're in a position I'll never get to. I think what I did learn over time is the fact that actually showing someone who is not at 60 kilos but showing somebody who's at 120 kilos and making a change is just as important, if not more important than that. The only part I could see in terms of agreeing with her is, yes, if you're going on to somebody's Instagram page and they're all fucking elite supermodels, or for instance, you go onto a bodybuilder's page and you look at them and they're all fucking show condition and the before pictures already what most people's after pictures are looking like. If you're somebody who's got gym anxiety and struggles with calories, probably best not go to them, because there's a good chance all you're going to have to do is rattle yourself in the gym and do tons of macro work, and that's where it becomes do you know what, it's less about, you know what, we'll create some flexibility for the weekends and more of a case of, did you go 10 grams over your fat on Thursday morning? You're a dick, get it sorted.
I was going to say you're a fucking disgrace.
But that's the only point I could see if I was looking at it from her perspective of what she potentially might mean. But we can't say anything because all she did is put a sentence out there and we're trying to dissect it.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not a sentence because she never put a full stop, so it's just continuous.
She put a
Grammar police for a dyslexic.
But yeah, I think it's just the words that she used and how she goes about saying it, because as you said, if you're a bodybuilding coach, then of course you're only going to be showing lean people. I'm not going to use able-bodied because we don't know if they've got anything mentally wrong with them, mental health issues. We don't know if do you know what I mean? We don't know if they are physically 100% not there. But of course, you're going to see lean people on a bodybuilding PT's page. Like, that doesn't mean they're then a red flag. That probably just means that they might not be the PT for you if you're just looking to be a wee bit healthier and lose a wee bit of body fat. Doesn't mean they're a red flag. Doesn't mean they're not safe to approach. Probably doesn't mean that they're not safe to send a wee DM as well. Like, some of the bodybuilders that I know, not all of them, a select few, the nicest people in the world would happily help you out. Are they the people that you want to go and train with and do bodybuilding type bro splits? Probably not. But again, doesn't mean they're no safe.
Great.
I now know why I'm a green. Never mind, you don't need to explain after.
The penny has dropped.
It's just hit the penny why Gary said I'm a green.
I've actually just had a thought here where if we call this Rhiannon's red flags, and she has got a fairly small audience at the moment, there is a chance that she might actually watch this podcast because we're essentially doing a podcast about her. She'd probably look at this going, they are bullying that poor wee autistic girl, and she should not be doing weight loss, fat loss in the gym is too much for her right now. So, yeah.
You're unsafe to be around, actually. I don't feel safe now.
Well, do you know what you can do? You can go and pay Rhiannon 50 quid an hour and she can walk you through some lateral raises that she can't even perform herself, and she'll probably lose count after 7.
Or we could just stand outside and chat.
Oh, you could do that for 50, or on the treadmill for 50 quid an hour.
There's a what do you call that? There's a oh fuck, I've forgotten it. Rite of passage. You need to dye your hair purple, cut it short, and you need to probably change your Instagram bio to be something diverse before you're allowed in, because otherwise you can't sit with us.
But just a wee bit of context for people listening, by the way, this is not just some random PT. We spoke about her a couple of months back. She was on that
Joe
YouTube
Fazer's
video.
It's Joe Fazer's.
She was on that video, the YouTube video. Fat PT and lean PT, and they were having a debate, and so yeah, it's not just some random PT that we're talking about. It's somebody that
didn't pick up some random girl at the end and goes, "Let's bash her."
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've picked up a random girl and gave her a good bashing.
Fuck's sake, Kyle.
I can hear your child in the background. Have manners.
Ironically, that was the last time I picked up a random girl and gave her a good bashing. Right. Talks about fixing. Sorry, I'm probably putting quotation marks. Talks about, in quotation marks, fixing or quotation marks problem areas. So, talks about fixing or problem areas.
Go for it.
I don't think I've ever said that to anyone. You've got problem areas. If anything, they come to me and they'd be like, I want to fix this, this, this. And I'm like, wow, that's not really how it works. And we're going to teach you the right way about looking at these things. And they're not problem areas. I've never heard of someone saying that they need like a PT, even in a gym, going, your tummy's your problem area. I don't think that's a realistic one. Unless you have heard it.
Yeah.
Go on.
And you go, Kyle.
No, I'll let you go first, Gary.
I was just going to say, I have come across a few ads, and it's like fix the area of your lower belly fat by doing these 3 exercises and shit like that. That for me, huge red flag, 100%. Don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Telling you what you want to hear so they can get you in the door and make some money off you. So that one I do agree with.
I've heard it on Instagram, but never in real life. I've never heard anyone say that in real life.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree. I actually have heard it once. Now, bear in mind, I've got a fairly lengthy PT career behind me, but I have heard a coach speaking to his client and saying that their lower body handles were a problem and they need to fix them. Like, they might not have said exactly verbatim the way I said it there, but I was sitting there like just going, I didn't work for the gym, and actually it's a gym in town, and to be fair, after the podcast I'll tell you who it was because it probably won't be a surprise, but I was like, it's a bodybuilding coach who was speaking to what looked like a general whatever, and they're talking about their progress pictures, and they're like, yeah, your body fat and the handles and stuff, that needs to be fixed. Now, let's also be fair, as much as they looked like a normal person to me in terms of like they looked like general public, if they were going on a step on stage at some point and they are going to go and get viewed by three people who are going to be stepping them up and judging them on their body composition, I would say it's probably within his rights to say it. And I'm only saying this for context in terms of, like, it's easy to go, that's bad coaching, but like if you are someone who's stepping on stage and you're about to get like judged on how you look, then this is what you have to go through. But for me, that's certainly not my style of coaching. That's the only time I've heard it. But in terms of like me talking about fixing things, I have heard people on calls talking about, oh, I need to fix my relationship with food, I need to fix my weekends, I need to fix my life, I need to like I get to like the evening and it's a problem that I eat all this. Like, I have heard those words, but it's not like they're words that people use. I don't think there's never any part of my content where I'm like, we are going to fix your weekends, or we are going to fix, and albeit, and see if I did put that out there, I don't actually think that's the worst. It was all you're doing in that sense is kind of doing exactly what she's doing here, and you're getting views and eyes on what it is. I don't think when I put out a post and I say, let's fix your weekend, people are really taking it to like
Heart.
Yeah, taking it to heart. But I think it depends on what she means. Again, it's all context. If somebody came to me and said, I'm going to fix this and I'm going to fix your problems and this is a problem, then in context, actually, do you know what? I'm going to retract that. In context, I actually don't think it's a bad thing. I think sometimes people actually need to know how much a problem is. Not that you twist the knife on a problem, because I don't think that's particularly great either, making people feel bad about things they already know. Because you top tip in business, if you want to create money from someone, then you create an emotional pain and you double down on that pain point until such time as someone is willing to see that the cost of staying stuck is more than the cost of your product. But that is, again, some dark art marketing. But at the same time, we're not here for that in biofitness. We do genuinely want to help people, but everybody has problems. Like, again, to say that like people aren't allowed to use problems and address their problems, for me, that's an issue, and actually stems back to probably our first couple of points as well. People do have problems and they shouldn't ignore those problems, and if somebody feels like something's a problem, they should be able to use the word problem. Take a drink every time Kyle says problem.
Oh, I'd be fucking steaming by now. Or very, very hydrated,
You
depending on what
congratulate me for my pooch over pouch.
I did think at the time, Shannon, but you've copped a lot so far in this podcast, and I didn't want to address that.
I think you reframed that very, very well there, mate. I'm going to still stand by my red flag and say that if you see a PT saying let's fix your pooch or let's fix your bingo wings by doing X amount of exercises, then yeah, huge red flag. But if somebody is just highlighting a problem that we can help with, then yeah, not a red flag.
Agreed.
Context is key.
Agreed.
Selling detoxes or strict meal plans.
Yeah, get them in the bin.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I don't think I've seen detox teas in quite some time.
Yeah, they were all the rage a while ago, weren't they?
Yeah, it was a wild time. You were just shitting your pants the whole time with them. But
I heard someone talking a completely separate podcast about the issue with most activists is they talk about issues that no longer exist, so they're almost stuck in time talking about things that have been fixed. So for me, Rhiannon is talking about things that existed 10, 15 years ago that actually have been addressed. So the likes of detoxes and strict meal plans that are getting, so that's all been fixed, that's all been sorted. I'm not saying they don't exist, but in terms of the volume in which they were banded out there, they don't really exist anymore. She's been an activist there for something that doesn't really exist. It's they've changed it on supplements where I used to work in supplements. I remember you could have supplements that says melts fat, like you can eat this and you'll lose body weight, you can do this and you can gain muscle. Yeah. Well, Men's Health used to be like, oh, do like 6-pack abs in 6 weeks. Like they used to have those things. They've addressed most of that where you're not allowed to. And sure, Instagram doesn't let you do it either. The algorithm is such a way that if you put any of that in, it kills your reach, so nobody fucking sees it anyway. So I'm kind of like, see all the issues that we're talking about in terms of detoxes or strict meal plans, they don't exist. However, I am going to add one caveat to that. Meal plans have got a really rough time because of the way they've been implemented, particularly through group coaching. When people set up gyms, they realised that they could essentially sell to the masses and they could get lots of people in for a time frame, and you could give them a meal structure and a training plan that was generic, and the easiest way to make sure that everybody lose weight is, oh, are we going to stick to higher calories or lower calories? No, let's go 1,200 calories and fire out a meal plan to 50 people. And you can see why that worked. And the people who do those type of programs are also the type of people who will justify, rightly or wrongly, that out of the 50 people that came on board, there was 5 of them who got shredded. And for them, like, they'll double down on the fact that they've got 5 shredded people. It's 5 shredded more people than Rhiannon got ever. And with that, that makes them a better PT. That is a different point to argue completely. My point to this is a meal plan with coaching isn't necessarily the worst thing when implemented correctly. I think a meal plan can help short term to give people an idea and structure as to, let's say, for instance, if you're a listener here and I give you your calories are 1,800 calories and you've never tracked calories before, you are going to, firstly, in the first week, you're going to have to find out how to use MyFitnessPal. What is 1,800 calories? How does that look? You're going to make tons of mistakes. Like, and by the time that, bear in mind, you're paying me a decent rate, like, by the time that you've figured all that out yourself, you've probably realised that you've not lost any weight, and if anything, you've wasted your time. So what we can do is implement a meal structure that's based on the foods that you like and give you, do you know what, for the first week or two, let's maybe look at sticking closely to this and it should be a bit like a compass rather than Google Maps. It should be pointing you directionally in the right way, but it doesn't necessarily mean to be something that you have to follow to the T, but it gives you direction. I don't think it's a bad thing. Where meal plans are ineffective is you'll see plenty of people who've done 12-week challenges who have followed the meal plan. I didn't have any sort of meal outside of that for 12 weeks, and then come week 12 when they've lost 10 kilos, they're like, they have no meal plan. They don't know how to actually set up their life, don't have any flexibility and structure, and all of a sudden they have the big night out at the end of the 12 weeks where the other 4 people who made it, and then they get to the point where they end up really fat again because of whatever, and then the next 12-week challenge starts and they do the same and same and same again. So meal plans, I think, whilst I'm not keen for somebody selling them in isolation, if you want a meal plan, I will give you one for free. Like, genuinely, just calculate your calories properly. I will send you over one. Do not pay for it. But is it going to work in isolation? Probably not.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Agreed, sir.
Yes, correct. Second last, uses cheat day language.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, if I'm being honest. I do kind of agree slightly with this one, but no doubt Kyle's got a counter argument that's going to make me change my mind. Shannon, did you?
Raise my hand.
Yes.
It contradicts everything she's talking about because if they're using cheat day languages, then what, like that, to me, when a coach uses cheat day languages, it means they're cheating away from what they're doing, which is strict dieting. But she's saying that you shouldn't have to do any strict dieting, you shouldn't have to do any of this. So I'm confused of why that would even come into play for her then to talk about it.
Um,
If she's going lackadaisy with life, being like, you don't need to do any of these things, but you can't be strict and you can't have flexibility when people use the word cheat diets and all that jazz, or cheat day.
I think just the term cheat day or cheat meal is where the issue with her lies. And me as well. I don't like the term cheat. I don't like people feeling like they're cheating on being healthy. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I think the term cheat day and cheat meal's been about for as long as I can fucking remember. Kyle, you might be able to shed some more accurate light on this, but the fact that you feel like a higher calorie meal, which is all it is, or a higher calorie day, is a cheat, is you cheating, says plenty about the relationship that you and or your coach has with food in the program, because you should not feel like you are cheating just by having a higher calorie meal. Food is there to be enjoyed in moderation. It's not there to be used as feeling like you're doing something naughty, feeling like you're sneaking behind your coach's back or your own health and well-being to have a wee cheat meal in secret. And then, well, I say in secret because it's usually fucking plastered all over Instagram, innit? But yeah, it's the terminology for me that I do agree with her that it can be a red flag. Doesn't mean they're not safe to go to, probably not. But I think it's just the terminology, cheat day, cheat meal,
Yeah.
that I don't
Oh,
like.
I don't agree with cheat day, cheat meal, anything like that. But she's basically going on about like you shouldn't have to prioritize your health and fitness through like nutrition or anything like that. You just need to be like moving and she's healthy. That's her whole argument. She's a healthy fat person. But then she's like, right, well, I don't like people that talk about their nutrition because that's restrictive and that's this. I also don't like it when they talk about looser meals and they call it a cheat day because like it's demonizing food. But she's just demonized all food. Like you shouldn't pay any heed to any food, is where I'm like, well, you're making no sense in your arguments, in my opinion.
I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to say that Rhiannon has a fairly fucked relationship with food herself, and that's been projected a little bit into her coaching. I think it was probably said in the documentary, the comments, I think Rhiannon probably would.
Has an eating disorder of some sort, she was saying.
Yeah, I did possibly. I think that's true, but I think when we look at the realm of what she works in, she works as a PT. Like I think she might be best working more as a therapist than a PT, and I think there is a probably scope for having somewhere between physical, like barbell medicine. There should be something in between where there is an element of like you speak about your problems and you can move at the same time, and that's maybe where she is. But in terms of the category she falls into right now in terms of a PT, I'm not saying that she can't be a PT, but I'm just like, if she's going to go and bash against everything that like PTs do, then just putting a bit of a marker on her back for these type of conversations. I think when it comes to an actual in-person PT, like in-person PTs don't really have the time, scope, or resources a lot of times. Certainly when I was working the gym floor, to be able to look at your nutrition anyway, they're there to help you get better at actual exercise and movement. And there's a lot of chats that happen. And Gary, you working on the gym floor right now, a lot of the time, you'll also be able to attest to the fact that it tends to become less of a like do 3 sets of 10 at this at a high intensity, and more about the fact that the person's talking about how them and their husband have had an argument, or the fact that they're stressing about what they're doing for the holiday, or they've had a rough weekend, and essentially you just become like a chatting buddy. I know how easy it can fall into thinking that you're fixing people's problems by having chats to them, and they end up paying you and you realise that, you know what, actually you've only got fucking 3 sets of or whatever exercise done by the end of the hour. I don't think that's very helpful either, and I do understand why she's maybe blurring a line. But in terms of getting to the point here, cheat day, I don't really have any thoughts or feelings on it either way. I think people that use cheat, again, it's a 10-year-old thing. I don't really hear a lot of people saying cheat day, and I work with quite a high volume of people. That's not to say I don't hear it at all, but in terms of frequency of hearing it, it's not massive, and it's usually, if we look at the science behind it, having a higher calorie day when you have been adhering, and this is the key thing, adhering to lower calories for a large period of time, it does have positive effects. There's like, it helps your thyroid function, it helps your metabolic rate, it helps your adherence, like, because there's nobody that ever has an 8 to 12 to 16 week time. And if anything, I've found that a lot of people, when they have a planned day where it's, again, a little bit higher calories and they can have it on track and they're working towards something, they actually tend to work harder in the lead up to it in terms of being more adherent. And then after that, they're ready to reset for a period of time for however long it is. For any dieting period, it should be in a concise period of time. You shouldn't be doing it forever. So if it's a 16-week period, and realistically, like, I'm having a chat with somebody, like, I have a wedding in 3 weeks that I kind of, it's going to be a lot looser, I'll be like, right, well, maybe let's use that and we'll have it on track. It's going to be higher calories. We can use that as a bit of a kind of tactical refeed, and then we'll go back to it. How does that sound to you? Class. But if somebody's every single week going, I want a cheat day, and I took it as a cheat day, I mean, well, there's probably a conversation to have going, right, no issues in terms of, let's take the embarrassment or the guilt away from the actual food itself. Like, why do you feel that you need that cheat day every week anyway? What's happening in your life? Like, what's the situation in the first place? Why are you feeling that that has to be happening? But I'm not a massive fan of words, like, in terms of, like, wording itself to me, and, like, it's fucking nonsense. You can call it whatever you want. It's the same as that program. You can call yourself fat-bodied or obese. Like, you're carrying too much weight, regardless of what way sounds better for you. We need to address why that is in the first place. And again, if I use a cheat day image in my, the only reason I wouldn't use cheat day image in my content is because I'm like, it's not 2014 and people aren't eating out of Tupperware dishes really that much anymore, and people have copped on to the fact that, like, they don't train like bodybuilders anymore, and people have more information about, everybody knows calories. Not everybody. There is more information available in calories in, calories out, and they know it's a bit more complex than that. They just struggle with adhering to that. So I don't think cheat day, it doesn't really mean anything to me, to be honest. No. Like, I can agree with a point. I just don't think it's relevant.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I fully
agree. The last one.
Go on.
Ignores rest day and recovery. I'd say this is probably the only one that I could get behind with her fully. If you have a coach that is ignoring rest and recovery, oh, Kyle is rocking. He's not too happy here. He's dying to speak. Um, I think that is a little bit worrying. Like if your coach is like, right, train 7 days a week, again, more bodybuilder kind of lifestyle when that isn't what you're looking for. Yes, to me, that would be a red flag. If you're not trying to be a bodybuilder and your coach is like all or nothing and all this shite and Tupperwares, yeah, that would be a red flag. But again, I don't think you find many coaches like that anymore unless it's that particular lifestyle. I feel like a lot of this is outdated stuff she's bringing up. Like,
Yeah.
would you ever tell your clients that they shouldn't rest or recover?
No.
Kyle?
I find this one difficult because I think there's two different camps of people. You've got people who think that they are never doing enough, who overtrain and consistently like try and train 5, 6 days a week, and a lot of the time for them intensity is too high, and you're like, you need to do less than more. There is a large percentage of people, but again, if we are talking about individuals, there are people who genuinely life would be a little bit easier if they actually just done a little bit more. Like the same people who like every week is like, oh, I couldn't really be asked going to the gym today and or this week, and they tend to find that they're doing sporadic sessions here and there and like whatever. I'd be like, the language I need to use with you isn't like if somebody like that is saying I need to rest and recover more. No issues in terms of you rest and recover more, but where's the stress coming from? Because it's not the gym. What are you resting and recovering from? Rest and recovery is important, but the question is, why are we resting and recovering? Like, stress and for adaptation to happen, stress needs to happen. And if I tell them it's fine to go to the gym once every 2 weeks, I'm kind of like, well, I have had this conversation, probably not with you two because you'll not see it, but other people going, mate, you've been to the gym twice in the last 3 months and you keep on talking about like going to the gym and not going to the gym and stuff. Like if the gym and you don't want to go to it and it's become too much of stress for you, then what about just taking it out? Like let's just have a conversation about taking it out. However, dealing with the question as is, like rest and recovery, it is super important, particularly if you are going at a pace, level and progression that you are following things and adhering to them. And the reason I took a wee bit of a gut reaction to it is when you see Rhiannon on that documentary and when you see the type of clients that she is coaching, I think it's an easy get out to tell them it's okay to go to the gym once a week and they need to rest and recover 6 days a week. Like balance, if you want to have balance, it needs to work in two ways. Like balance works where like yes, there's an element of rest and recovery, but there also needs to be an element of push and pull. So to have pull you need to have push, and I think for Rhiannon's clients, again, nothing to say outside of the documentary, I've seen a lot of their time actually is the opposite. And if I was to go through every single point she's put there and say the opposite, if we are talking about potential green flags, if we were to assume that red flags are on this side of the spectrum, let's look at the green ones for her. So don't post before and after photos. Don't talk about weight loss. Don't talk about any excuses or beast mode. Let's make sure we only post pictures of people who are a little bit different, overweight and unabled. Let's look at like not talking about any sort of problems or fixing. Let's not talk about like detoxes or being stricter with plans or whatever. Let's not talk about like higher calorie days, cheat days or whatever, and let's not talk about, or sorry, let's glorify rest and recovery. If I put all of that in, and I might be miles off it here, it probably would sound like a recipe for people that are never going to get results, that are never going to have the mirror hold up to them, that are never going to have any form of accountability in their lives, and just food for thought. I think most of the people who are in that position probably need all of the things I just said.
Yeah. When you put it like that, mate, yes.
Yeah,
Mic drop.
it's not. I do want to be careful in case this does get clipped out of context though. Like her watching it and putting it in Opus Pro and then throwing it up on her Instagram of me just telling everybody that they need to do more. That's not what I meant to say. Listen to the full podcast and you'll hear that's not what we said. But yeah, I do think to a large extent, PT should have. Oh, there's a question. We'll finish on this question. should PTs be able to demonstrate results?
Yes. Well,
Results don't always have to be fat loss. And this
it,
is where me and Gary's wee debate came in the chat because Gary was like performance. And
well,
I
it
was like, that
depends.
does
Yeah,
count
it depends
as well.
what they're
I
coaching.
find most people come for weight loss and then performance afterwards, but you've had a different experience.
It depends what they're coaching. It depends what the PT is marketing for. If they are a fat loss coach, then yes, they should definitely be able um, to showcase that they know what they're doing. I mean, look at Brad Schoenfeld. The guy looks like somebody's drew a fucking face onto a ball sack. Do you know what I mean? But he is one of the most intelligent and educated people in the health and fitness space, and he can fucking showcase that by the results that he's got with his clients. Maybe not himself, but with the clients that he has and he's had, and the studies that he's funded himself and the studies that he's done, like he can showcase that. It might not look the part, but he fucking knows what he's talking about. So I do believe that depending on what you're coaching or what you're marketing for, you have to be able to showcase that you know what the fuck you are doing. I'm not going to pay someone to cook me a meal unless I know they're a fucking chef. I'm not going to go to a restaurant and just be like, take my money and do what the fuck you want with it, and I'll just get whatever you decide to serve me up. Like I'm
Get
going
the
to a
dishwasher
restaurant.
guy out the back there to cook it for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like I need to know that there's people cooking my food that know what the fuck they're doing. I'm not just going to, throw my money on the floor and just hope for the fucking best. And it's the same way, PT. Like for you to be able to talk about what you want to talk about, you have to showcase a level of understanding and knowledge that you know what the fuck you're doing. In my opinion.
And
Agreed.
be able to learn more and be
Exactly.
open to learning. I don't think Rhiannon is open to learning anything more than movements in a gym, and that is it. And that's fine if that's what she wants to do, but she can't say she's a green flag all round. She's got some faults. She can
I,
clip me, I don't care.
yeah, I will. I think well, you're neurodivergent, so you're on the same side. You can't discriminate
Yeah.
against you. So, what was it?
Like, I'm one of yous.
One of us, one of us.
A fucking
Let me in your
neurodivergent.
club.
We're starting a neurodivergent civil war here.
I hadn't actually checked, but this is the first thing I did just there. Was I think you're right in the sense that like demonstrating progress needs to be, in my opinion, if you're paying for a service, you need to actually know what you're paying for in the first place. Because otherwise, if there's no tangible outcome, then what are you paying for? Like, if it is a case where you're just paying for the access to someone's time, at the moment, that's all I can see from Rhiannon's thing. I actually did have a look there to see, does she have anyone even just talking about like their experience of before, after, whatever? And she might argue, going, "Oh, my people, they don't want to be seen on camera and all that." It's a cop out, mate. Like it's a genuine cop out. Like if you if you are demonstrating, because again, if you have someone, what's going to sell it to me more? If you have someone who actually is and been through your process, I might eat my words. See if I looked on her page right there, and it was every 2 or 3 posts there was somebody going, "I started in this position, do what saved my life. I started in this position, it saved my life." I'd be like, do you know what? See what she's saying? Lot of credit to it, because you know what? There's people that demonstrated that, not just her talking. There's nobody. There's not a video, there's not a thing. The only video I could find with her and speaking to somebody else was another neurodivergent coach. Like, there's nothing to say Rhiannon does anything quantifiable. My thing is, if you sign up to Rhiannon, I'm not saying don't, absolutely, if she's your person, go and do it. But if you sign up to a coach and they have no quantifiable results, don't be surprised when you have no quantifiable results at the end of it, is all I'd say.
Yep, 100%. Come to us instead.
I think we're about to wrap up, but Shannon, you look like you're on a wee mission there. You got something?
I actually, because at the end of the whole post it says, not sure who you can trust. The not so typical PT network vets every member. Link in bio. I'm here looking at it to see what it actually it's 25 euro a month to be a member, which includes a list of neurodivergent clients across the UK who are specifically looking for a trainer like you. Every member is vetted, so when someone finds you through our dictionary, you already know that you're safe. Resources, marketing templates, coaching frameworks, business tools built for PTs who refuse to use diet culture to sell themselves. A community, a private space for peer support, referrals, and sanity checks with trainers who share your values. No toxic positivity, no hustle culture, just people who get it. CPD and expert sessions, ongoing learning from people with general lived experience, um, for accessibility, values-led training, and the not so typical PT membership logo, a visible sign to potential clients that you are vetted, trusted, and generally safe PT, not just someone who says the right things. This is what she's selling for £25 a month.
Of course that is.
Well, she's not exactly going to be selling fat though, this issue.
No.
Thanks to Dave and Toby for the tunes. See you next week.
Bye.